Secrets carved in stone. Journey through history's greatest enigmas opening. What if everything we know about the past is incomplete? Across our planet lie remnants that refuse to fit neatly into history books. Monuments that mock our modern capabilities. Civilizations that vanished as if erased by an invisible hand. Documents written in languages that resist every attempt at translation. These aren't campfire stories or internet hoaxes. They're documented puzzles that have left archaeologists, historians, and scientists genuinely stumped, from impossible engineering feats to sudden disappearances. These mysteries remind us that the past still has stories to tell if we're willing to listen. Ready to question everything? Let's begin. The Emperor's Hidden Kingdom, China's greatest secret. The untouched tomb. Imagine knowing exactly where a treasure lies, yet never daring to claim it. That's the paradox of China's first emperor. In Shanxi province, beneath rolling green hills, Emperor Qin Shi Huang rests in a tomb that's remained sealed for over 2 millennia. You've probably heard about his terracotta, or meet the thousands of life-sized clay soldiers discovered by farmers in 1974. But here's what most people do unknow. The army is just the perimeter guard. The emperor's actual burial chamber, completely untouched. Why? Ancient historian Sima Qian left us descriptions that sound like science fiction. Rivers of liquid mercury flowing endlessly through underground chambers. A ceiling studded with pearls arranged like constellations. Crossbows rigged to fire at intruders automatically. And perhaps most chilling, craftsmen who built the tomb were allegedly sealed inside alive to protect its secrets. Modern soil analysis confirms abnormally high mercury concentrations at the site, exactly as described 2,000 years ago. So why hasn't anyone opened it? The answer is both practical and philosophical. When archaeologists first exposed the terracotta warriors to air, their vibrant painted colors vanished within minutes. The technology to preserve what lies inside simply isn't ready. And culturally, disturbing an imperial tomb isn't just archaeology, it's considered a profound insult to national heritage. The tomb spans 56 square kilometers. 700,000 workers labored on it, and it still guards mysteries that could reshape our understanding of ancient China. Sometimes the greatest discoveries are the ones we choose not to make. The conqueror who left Nitru monoxide traced Genghis Khan's vanishing act. He forged the largest contiguous empire in human history. His armies swept from Korea to Hungary. His name struck terror across continents. Yet when Genghis Khan died in 1227, he achieved something more remarkable than any conquest. He disappeared completely. No tomb, no marker, no trace. The Mongols excel at many things, but secrecy surrounding his burial borders on the supernatural. Legend says the funeral procession killed every person they encountered to prevent word from spreading. 2,000 mourners were executed after the ceremony. The executioners also killed. 1,000 horses supposedly trampled the gravesite to erase all evidence. One tale speaks of a young camel buried with the Khan, whose mother returned year after year to the spot, weeping, helping descendants relocate the grave. It's a beautiful story. Whether it's true is another matter entirely. Modern technology has scoured the Khenti Mountains where most believe he rests. Satellite imagery, ground-penetrating radar, crowdsourced analysis from thousands of volunteers. Result: nothing. But here's the twist, perhaps that's exactly what the Khan wanted. Mongolians consider the burial sites sacred. Many actively resist excavation efforts, viewing them as violations of their greatest hero. Some researchers report strange accidents befalling expeditions. Coincidence? Cultural protection? Or something else? The man who conquered half the world won his final battle, the one against being found. When giants walked the earth, the Castelnau controversied winter, 1890. A small French village. An anthropologist unearths 3 bone fragments from a Bronze Age burial mound. Nothing unusual except these bones suggest a human who stood 11 feet tall. Georges Vacher de la Pouche measured them meticulously. Femur, 14 centimeters across. Calculations pointed to an individual 3.5 meters in height, weighing several hundred kilograms. He insisted they were unquestionably human despite their impossible size. The University of Montpellier's experts agreed Bedital race, possibly pathological growth. Reports emerged of similar giant skulls discovered near Montpellier, sent to the French Academy of Sciences, then vanished. Gone without documentation. So, what really happened? Modern anthropologist Catherine Haken suggests an elegant explanation. Giant bare bones misidentified in an era when anatomical knowledge was limited. It's plausible. But it doesn't explain why 19th century experts confirm them as human, or why no modern study has ever re-examined these fragments. Every culture tells stories of giants, Greek Cyclops, biblical Nephilim, and in Castelna villagers still speak of caves that once sheltered enormous beings. The bones themselves, lost to history. No museum holds them, no records track their whereabouts. We're left with Victorian-era measurements and questions that won't die. Did giants walk among us? Or do we simply want to believe they did? The cave's nitrogen monoxide one should have built China's impossible underground city. Picture a farmer in 1992, casually draining a pond to expand his property. His pump reveals something impossible. A massive artificial cavern with walls so perfectly smooth they appear machine. Welcome to Longyu Caves. 24 interconnected chambers carved from solid siltstone. Some soar over 30 meters high. Every surface covered in uniform, parallel grooves running floor to ceiling without interruption. Not a single tool mark. No human remains. No artifacts explaining who built them or why. The precision is what haunts researchers. These aren't rough-hewn shelters. They're architectural masterpieces exhibiting engineering sophistication that challenges everything we know about ancient Chinese capabilities. Estimate over 2,000 years old, possibly dating to the Qin or Han dynasty, yet not one ancient Chinese text mentions their existence. How do you hide an underground city from history? Theories abound. Secret granaries, wartime shelters, forgotten royal tombs, ceremonial centers. None fully explain the scale or uniformity. The carved patterns suggest centralized planning and techniques that somehow vanished from human knowledge. Here's what keeps archaeologists awake. If a project this massive could be erased from memory, what else have we forgotten? The Longyu Caves don't just challenge our understanding of ancient China, they challenge our certainty about history itself. Stones that shouldn't exist. Baalbek's impossible megaliths. In Lebanon's Bekaa Valley stands a Roman temple built on a foundation that makes no sense. 3 limestone blocks each, nearly 20 meters long, over 4 meters high, weighing 750 to 800 tons, stacked upon one another with precision that modern cranes would struggle to achieve. They're called the trilithon, and they're the wrong stones in the wrong place at the wrong time. Roman engineering was advanced, yes, but their most powerful cranes maxed out at 100 tons. These blocks are 8 times heavier. Even stranger nearby in the quarry lie unfinished blocks. One weighs 1,000 tons, another 1,242 tons. The largest discovered in 2014 tips. The scale's at 1,650 tons. The heaviest workstone ever identified. Legend and its reality are equally unsettling. Does the distinction matter? Some researchers suggest the Romans inherited the foundation from an earlier, unknown civilization. The similarities to megalithic structures worldwide, Saksawaman, Impedu. Egyptian pyramids are striking. Could ancient humanity have possessed lost technologies? Orthodox explanations involve wooden rollers, earthen ramps, and coordinated labor. But no evidence supports these methods at Baalbek scale. No records describe the construction. The tools have vanished. Only the silent stones remain, mocking our assumptions. When the foundation predates the temple built upon it, you have to wonder, whose foundation is it really? The manuscript of Curses, Devil's Bible, written in a single night. In Sweden's National Library sits a book that weighs 75 kilograms and requires 2 people to lift. Medieval scribes called it Codex Gigas. Everyone else calls it the Devil's Bible. Not because of its content, though. It contains the complete Latin Bible, plus texts on medicine, history, and demonology. But because of how it came to exist, Legend says a 13th century monk faced being walled up alive for his crimes. He begged for one night to create a manuscript containing all human knowledge. Knowing this impossible, he summoned Satan. That portrait massive, menacing, with glowing eyes and razor claw sits in the middle of sacred text, unlike anything in Christian manuscripts. The legend is probably fiction, but what is real is more disturbing. The entire 620-page manuscript appears to be written by one person in consistent handwriting. Scholars estimate it would take 5 years of continuous work. No corrections, no errors. Uniform quality throughout. Wherever the Codex Gigas has traveled, disaster has followed. Disease, war, collapse of dynasties. Swedish forces seized it during the 30 Years' War. It's remained in Stockholm since 1648, surrounded by stories of misfortune. Is it unlikely? But when a book's legend and its reality are equally unsettling, does the distinction matter? The Temple Before Civilization, Göbekli Tepe. Rewriting human history. Everything we thought we knew about civilization just got older. Much older. In 1994, archaeologist Klaus Schmidt began excavating a hilltop in Turkey. What emerged from the soil should once exist. Massive stone circles with T-shaped pillars carved with sophisticated animal reliefs. Lions, bulls, foxes, snakes. Abstract symbols. Carbon dating revealed the impossible truth. 11,000 years old. That's older than agriculture. Older than pottery. Older than the wheel. Built by people we assumed were simple hunter-gatherers, incapable of organized construction. Each pillar stands 6 meters tall, weighing dozens of tons. The carvings demonstrate artistic sophistication that contradicts every timeline we've built about human development. This wasn't a settlement, no evidence of habitation exists. It was purely ceremonial. Here's what breaks archaeologists' brains. Around 8000 BC, the builders deliberately buried the entire complex, preserving it perfectly for millennia. Why create something so monumental only to bury it? Göbekli Tepe suggests religion and belief may have preceded even Spock civilization itself, not the other way around as we've always assumed. When your oldest temple predates your oldest farm, you have to reconsider everything about how societies form. Pyramids hidden in plain sight. China's White Pyramid mystery in 1945. American pilot James Gaussman reported seeing a massive white pyramid while flying over China's Shanxi province. 2 years later, pilot Maurice Sheehan confirmed it and captured blurry photographs. When these images reached the West, they triggered fascination and controversy. A pyramid in China, covered in gleaming white stone, possibly larger than Egypt's Great Pyramid. Chinese authorities responded simply. They're burial mounds for ancient emperors. Nothing special. Nothing to investigate. But satellite imagery tells a different story. Dozens of pyramid-shaped structures dot Shanxi, some reaching 100 meters tall. Local legends speak of white limestone coverings that reflected sunlight, making them visible for miles. If reports are accurate, the White Pyramid stood 300 meters tall with a base exceeding 450 meters, dwarfing Giza. So why can't we study it? The area remains restricted. Cultural beliefs prohibit disturbing imperial tombs, and Chinese archaeology keeps its discoveries close. Some researchers note the pyramid's apparent alignment with constellations, echoing arrangements seen in Egypt and Mesoamerica. Did ancient cultures share knowledge, or did they independently arrive at similar solutions? We can't answer, because we can't access the sites. The White Pyramid remains hidden behind walls of politics and tradition, its secrets intact. Sometimes the most frustrating mysteries are the ones protected by no trespassing signs. The sarcophagus that broke the internet, Alexandria's Black Box, summer 2018. Alexandria, Egypt. Construction workers hit something massive 5 meters underground. A black granite sarcophagus, 2.7 meters long, weighing 30 tons. The largest ever found in Alexandria. And it was sealed. No inscriptions, no carvings, no clues to who lay inside. just smooth black stone and an eroded plaster seal. The internet exploded with theories. Alexander the Great's lost tomb and Ancient Course, Pandora's box containing evil spirits. Some people seriously requested permission to drink whatever liquid might be inside for magical powers. When archaeologists opened it in July 2018, they found 3 skeletons stacked atop one another, floating in foul reddish-brown water from centuries of seepage. No treasure, no intact mummy, no curse. Just 3 ordinary people from around 300 BC, one with a skull fracture, suggesting violent death. But here's what doesn't make sense. Why use such rare, expensive black granite transported hundreds of miles from Aswan for? 3 anonymous individuals buried without ceremony. Were they forgotten nobles? Were they forgotten nobles? Soldiers killed in chaos? Officials erased from history? Religious taboo cases whose names couldn't be recorded? The sarcophagus itself would have required enormous resources. Yet it holds people deemed unworthy of even basic identification. Maybe the greatest mystery isn't who they were, but why someone went to such expense to make sure we'd never know. We'd never know. The map that shows too much Piri Reis and the impossible coastline Ottoman Admiral Piri Reis draws a world map using ancient sources he claims date back to Greek and Roman times. The map survives only partially, but what remains has sparked centuries of controversy. It shows the western African coast, the eastern coast of South America, and impossibly Antarctica's northern coastline, apparently drawn before it was covered in ice. Antarctica wasn't officially discovered until 1820, and it hasn't been ice-free for thousands of years. Piri Reis's own notes say he compiled the map from over 20 ancient charts, including some supposedly from Columbus, but none of those source maps exist anymore, if they ever did. Mainstream explanation, speculation, and educated guessing that coincidentally resembled Antarctica. Mapmakers often drew theoretical continents. Alternative theories. Ancient civilizations possessed advanced navigation and surveying capabilities, perhaps lost knowledge from Atlantis or other forgotten societies. Maybe evidence of prehistoric global exploration. The map's accuracy regarding South American coastlines is genuinely impressive for 1513. But the Antarctica connection requires accepting that ancient peoples mapped a continent during a warm period thousands of years before recorded history. Is it possible? The map exists. The coastline matches reasonably well, but extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. The Piri Reis map dangles just enough possibility to be fascinating, just enough doubt to remain unproven. The people who vanished, where did the Clovis go? Around 13,000 years ago, a sophisticated hunting culture dominated North America. They crafted distinctive spear points so well designed that modern researchers still study their techniques. They hunted mammoths, giant deer, and massive North American camels. Then, within a few hundred years, they disappeared completely from the archaeological record. What happened to the Clovis people? The end of the Ice Age brought dramatic climate shifts. As temperatures rose and environments transformed, the megafauna they depended on went extinct. Without their primary food sources, the Clovis culture may have simply collapsed or evolved into something different. But another theory involves cosmic catastrophe. Evidence of widespread wildfires, cosmic glass, and carbon dust layers dating to the Clovis disappearance suggests a possible meteor impact. Could a space rock have wiped out this culture in an instant? Or did they migrate, adapt, and become the ancestors of later indigenous peoples, their distinctive tools abandoned for new technologies better suited to changing conditions? The Clovis remind us that no civilization is guaranteed permanence. Success in one era becomes vulnerability when conditions shift. Books that won't surrender the Rohank Codex. Unbreakable. In early 19th century Hungary, a mysterious book surfaced. 400+ pages of an unknown script, containing thousands of unique symbols never seen in any language system, ancient or modern. The Rohank Codex includes 80+ illustrations showing religious ceremonies, battles, and symbolic figures, blending Christian, Islamic, and pagan elements. But the text itself, completely illegible. Is it authentic or an elaborate hoax? Linguists, cryptographers, and historians have attacked this puzzle for nearly 200 years, using every technique from pattern analysis to computer algorithms. Some believe it's a prayer book from a secret religious sect. Others think it's a 19th century forgery designed to baffle academics. No one has deciphered a single sentence. What makes the Rohonk Codex especially frustrating is that if it's real, it represents either a lost language or an encrypted message of potentially enormous historical value. If it's fake, it's one of history's most successful hoaxes. The line between impossible to solve and nothing to solve remains frustratingly unclear. Have you ever felt like history has a few pages missing? Like there are stories just out of reach, whispers from the past that we can't quite make out? Today, we re-dive into 6 of the most tantalizing historical mysteries enigmas that challenge what we think we know about our own past, from impossible maps to vanished civilizations. Let's explore the puzzles that time forgot. Our first stop is a map room in 16th century Constantinople. Here, an Ottoman admiral named Piri Reis creates a stunningly detailed chart of the world. He claims he used over 20 ancient maps as his sources, some supposedly from Christopher Columbus himself. The Piri Reis map accurately shows the coasts of West Africa and South America. But there's something else, a landmass at the very bottom that looks eerily like the northern coast of Antarctica. Here's the catch. Antarctica wasn't officially discovered until 1820, and it's been covered in ice for thousands of years. So how could it be on a map from 1513, apparently drawn in an ice-free state? Piri Reis's ancient source maps, if they ever existed, are long gone. Skeptics say it was just a lucky guess, a common practice among early cartographers to draw a hypothetical southern continent. But others wonder, could it be evidence of a lost, ancient civilization with advanced seafaring skills? A culture that mapped the world long before recorded history. The Piri Reis map dangles just enough possibility to keep us guessing. Now, let's travel back 13,000 years to North America, home to a formidable culture known as the Clovis people. They were master hunters, crafting distinctive, fluted spear points so effective they could take down mammoths and giant camels. For centuries, they thrived. And then, in the blink of an archaeological eye, they vanished what-a-pinned. One theory points to the end of the Ice Age. As the glaciers retreated and the climate warmed, the massive beasts they hunted went extinct. Without their food source, the Clovis culture may have simply collapsed or adapted, evolving into the ancestors of later indigenous peoples. But there's a more dramatic theory. Scientists have found evidence of widespread wildfires and a thin layer of cosmic dust, dating to the exact time the Clovis disappeared. Could a meteor or comet have exploded over North America, triggering a cataclysm that wiped them out? The debate rages on. Were they victims of climate change or a cosmic catastrophe? The mystery of the Clovis people is a stark reminder that even the most successful societies can disappear without a trace. Next, we journey to 19th century Hungary, where a truly baffling book emerged. It's called the Rohonk Codex. It contains over 400 pages written in a completely unknown script, filled with thousands of unique symbols that don't match any known language, ancient or modern. Adding to the mystery, it's filled with over 80 illustrations depicting battles, religious scenes, and symbols that seem to blend Christian, Islamic, and even pagan imagery. For nearly 200 years, the world's best cryptographers and linguists have tried to crack it. They've used every tool, from simple pattern analysis to advanced computer algorithms, and have come up with absolutely nothing. Not a single word has been deciphered. Is it an authentic prayer book from a forgotten sect, holding priceless historical secrets? Or is it one of the most brilliant and elaborate hoaxes ever created, designed simply to stump the experts? If it's real, we're missing a key piece of human history. If it's fake, we have to admire the genius behind it. The Rohonk Codex remains perfectly, frustratingly silent. Imagine you're a worker clearing jungle in 1930s Costa Rica, and you stumble upon a stone bowl. A perfectly round stone bowl. Then you find another, and another. Hundreds of them. Some small enough to hold, others towering at over 2 meters and weighing 16 tons. These are the great stone spheres of Costa Rica, carved from incredibly hard granodiorite. They are polished to a near-perfect roundness, an achievement that would be difficult even with modern tools. They were created by the defy culture sometime between 600 AD and the 1500s. But why? Were they astronomical markers? Mapping the stars? Status symbols for tribal chiefs? Or sacred objects used in rituals? The people who made them left no written records, so we have no idea. Tragically, when they were first found, many spheres were blown up by treasure hunters looking for gold, or moved to decorate people's gardens. This destroyed their original placements, which might have held the key to understanding their purpose. The spheres are a puzzle born not just from time, but from our own destructive curiosity. Let's now look beneath the waves of the North Sea. 10,000 years ago, this wasn't a sea at all. It was a vast, fertile landmass connecting Great Britain to mainland Europe. We call it It was a Mesolithic paradise of rolling hills, dense forests, and winding rivers, teeming with life. Hunter-gatherers roamed this landscape, hunting mammoths and reindeer. Then, the last ice age ended. The glaciers melted, and the sea levels began to rise. The final blow came around 8,200 years ago, when a massive underwater landslide off the coast of Norway triggered a colossal tsunami, submerging what was left of Doggerland forever. An entire world swallowed by the ocean. Today, fishing trawlers regularly pull up remnants of this lost land. Flint tools, animal bones, and even fossilized human footprints. This isn't just history, it's a chilling prophecy. Doggerland is a real-life Atlantis, a civilization erased by climate change and rising seas. As we face our own climate challenges, the story of Doggerland serves as a powerful warning from our deep past. Our final mystery takes us to the sun-baked quarries of Aswan, Egypt. Here lies a monument to ambition and to failure. It is the unfinished obelisk, carved directly from the bedrock 3,500 years ago. It was meant to be the largest obelisk ever created, standing 42 meters tall and weighing an incredible 1,200 tons. Commissioned likely by Queen Hatshepsut. It was a marvel of engineering. Workers had nearly finished shaping 3 sides when disaster struck. A massive, fatal crack appeared in the granite. The project was abandoned on the spot. It lies there still, a silent giant tethered to the earth. The crack itself is a mystery. Was it a natural flaw in the stone, or a mistake by the builders? But the bigger question is, how did they even plan to move it? Even for the brilliant Egyptians, transporting a 1,200-ton block of stone seems almost impossible. This magnificent failure, however, gives us an unparalleled look into their methods. We can see the hammer marks and the channels they cut for wooden wedges. The unfinished obelisk is a testament not just to Egyptian genius, but also to the humbling limits of human power. From sunken lands to unbreakable codes, these mysteries show us that history isn't a closed book. It's an ongoing investigation, full of clues that lead to more questions. They remind us that a world is older, stranger, and more complex than we can imagine. What do you think is the solution to one of these puzzles? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for joining me on this journey into the unknown. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more deep dives into the mysteries of our world. See you next time.